Hi guys, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. This reading vlog, you know the drill, it's cold, it's dreary. We're gonna be doing a lot of reading. In fact, I've actually honed in on one actually very cozy oriented read and another read that I have been meaning to finish and personally I find a bit cozy based on the inputs, so should be a fun time to spend together. But before we go into the books themselves, first a word from this video's sponsor, which is Parade. Hi guys, I'm so excited to say that this video is sponsored by Parade, and before I go into the details of my current favorite items that I've gotten from Parade, I do want to quickly shout my very special offer with them. If you use my code Project40 or go to yourparade.com/project40, you're able to get 40% off site-wide. But what is Parade? Parade makes unreal and super flattering underwear that feels like a second skin. Parade is all about celebrating who you are today and every day. Not only do their products have very inclusive sizing, ranging from extra small to 3XL, but they have so many different patterns, designs, cuts, and styles to celebrate who you are and how you want to dress for yourself every single day. They have so many super fun designs, patterns, and collabs that are bold and bright, but they also have understated and more muted colors as well. Again, really catering to so many different types of personal styles and just personalities, and depending on how you want to dress day in or day out. Their garments are also made from sustainable fabrics, and they also donate a part of their sales to charitable organizations that they believe in. What about me personally? Going into 2024, I wanted to focus on comfort and comfort only. I got rid of every single piece of undergarment that just simply was not doing it for me anymore. It was pinching, it was pulling, it was not seamless. I didn't enjoy the wearing experience, so that means I have been working to replace a lot of these items, and I've added some really amazing bralettes specifically from Parade that I have fallen in love with. And I have fallen in love with their vintage soft scoop bralette, and this is in the color Dewdrop, but I also picked it up in the color Strawberry. These, as the name implies, are just so incredibly soft. It feels like I'm wearing PJs, which was exactly what I was going for, but it still provides coverage and support, which I also need. I also picked up the vintage soft bralette in Triangle. This is in the color Dusty Rose and might possibly be my favorite. Outside of the bralettes I did add to my collection, I did want to give a quick shout out to the PJs and loungewear I also picked up, because I picked up this cozy casual set. This is the polo, and then I also grabbed the cozy casual wide leg pants to go with it. This is in the color Twilight, and the fabric is this waffle material I just love so much. Again, Parade has a huge selection of underwear to shop and pick from. Not only do they have different materials and cuts, but again, the designs are truly next level. Again, I'll have a link down below to my URL, but if you use the code Project40, you'll be able to get 40% off site-wide, which is amazing. Thank you again to Parade for sponsoring this video. I've been loving your bralettes, but without further ado, let's go ahead and dive back into the vlog. But the two books I hope to read over the course of this vlog is first the Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. I have already started this book. I've read about half of this book. I think I started it back in November or maybe early December. I'm really liking it, and I just put it down for reasons unknown to me. So we're gonna circle back and finish it. This is like a very clever, very whimsical investigation by a husband and wife team set in kind of like an industrial England-esque inspired fantasy world. It's so over the top and also clever that I've just been having a blast with it, so I'm looking forward to finishing it. And then from there, I do want to then read Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. This is the second book, the first one being Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which is a very charming and endearing fantasy romance series, but fantasy romance that's more slow burn, more about the love and the connection between our two main characters, plus the fantasy elements. Don't forget that. And it's just really funny and super cute. It doesn't have a lot of spice, and I'm just looking forward to finally getting to the sequel because I loved the first one so much. But these are the two books I hope to read for this vlog. I feel like this is going to be another home run. If anyone was wondering if I was still hyper fixating on this turkey provolone sub sandwich, the answer is 100% yes. Clay and I are splitting one today. That's why we got
Big honker.
Big honker, as Clay likes to say. And I truly cannot wait. Hello, it's me. I am cozy on the couch, and we are about to do some reading of The Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. This is my first book of the vlog because I'm already about halfway through. So let's hope I can finish this book. But let's talk about what this book is about, because it's so much fun, especially if you love inputs like this. So one of the things about Josiah Bancroft's writing that I love is that it's very whimsical, strange, very detailed, and it almost is like if middle grade, like he takes what I feel like are my favorite inputs of middle grade, which is like the creativity of the fantastical settings, and brings it to adult fantasy and, you know, makes it intense and very, very serious, but like the vibe of it is just so wholly original and I love. This series is set in what I would kind of describe as like a Industrial Revolution-esque London setting. It's not that place, but I feel like it's very much like inspired by that place. It's set in a fantasy world too, where magic exists, but magic is no longer as powerful as it was. There's also a variety of schools of magic. You can be a wizard, you can be a necromancer, you can be a hexologist, and you can be an alchemist. Basically, all of these professions after a very deadly war have kind of been reduced, and the access to certain magical information has also been reduced, except if you're an alchemist or a hexologist, which in general was a magical profession that people didn't really care about as much. And so now, like, technology and other types of industry are becoming much more prevalent because magic is on the decline, if you know what I mean. Our main characters are hexologists, and they're famous detectives for hire. And at the beginning of this book, they're basically contacted by the government, and they're also like anti-government, anti-royalists, but they decide to take on this case by the government because the king is like trying to bake himself into a cake, and they're concerned about the instability that could bring to the country, so they decide to look into it. And so far, so many different wacky things have happened. First and foremost, Isolde and Warren, who are the investigators and the married couple in this, are fantastic. It's like, it very much gives like this man will do anything for his wife, like himbo vibes in a way. Isolde, the wife, is kind of the lead detective. She has a lot of skills, a lot of talent. She also has famous parents. And her husband is like a fantastic cook and will do anything for her, is also very capable and strong. Like, he's big and strong. And them as a pair is just very entertaining. And I also like love their dynamic. The setting of this book is really fun because it has this sort of like city setting with lots of stuff happening, lots of innovation, lots of change. Like, it feels very electric, but there's also a magical component that I feel like works so well too. And then the mystery. So the mystery kind of starts off with this king, but the conspiracy obviously is beginning to balloon, and like other players are kind of being pulled in, and the book is like very fast paced, like even the action. So I feel like every chapter is like, whoa, 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 I can't believe this is happening. And I just have no idea where this book is going, no idea what I could read or experience next. It's just such an inventive experience, and it's so much fun. But I'm halfway through and I'm really, really liking it. I read a chapter last night and I immediately was like, I need to finish this book. So this is why we're reading it for this vlog. I feel like this could very easily be like a series that's just a trilogy because there's like one problem, but I also wouldn't care if this was like mystery of the week situation because the characters and the setting is just so much fun too. But anyway, I'm gonna sit down now and do some reading and see how far we get. But I'm so excited to be back in this world. I love Josiah Bancroft's writing.
Maybe characteristic of...
It is absolutely pouring. It's been pouring all night. It's been so cozy and nice, but I am officially in bed. We're gonna read more of the Hexologists. I've only read about 30 pages so far today, which is not much. So I'm hoping to make up some ground over the next few days and obviously pivot to my other read, but we're gonna read more now. So let's get to it. Hello, good morning. I'm here with a reading update. I have read about 100 pages, 100 more pages of the Hexologists. I am enjoying this book so much. And there's so many different components of this book that I'm enjoying. First and foremost, the magic in this world is just so interesting. I love that there are these different schools of magic that also feel incredibly distinct from one another, and the people who are involved in each vertical of magic also feel very distinct. Obviously our main character is a hexologist, which I would say is like the school of magic that I'm least familiar with in terms of like reading fantasy, and her magic is centered around like creating diagrams. It's very artistic. And seeing her work within her field with the skill set is super cool. We also interact with a variety of other types of magic users. Predominantly, we run into alchemists. Again, this book is sort of set in this industrial age, and our main character and the book itself is definitely criticizing this progress at all costs. The magic itself is an interesting stand-in for like polluting materials that have been used like in our world. For example, instead of like coal and oil, in this world, alchemists basically open up a portal to the underworld and harvest the energy there to create products at a cheaper and faster rate. But this results in like polluting of not only the atmosphere, like the sun is basically never out because there's like an ever-present level of clouds in the sky now, but also like dangerous creatures come out of this portal from the underworld, and like dangerous materials, and a lot of this is hidden from the general public. And obviously there's this mystery surrounding the king and this conspiracy about who he is connected to. But as you kind of work through this book, you realize that there are like more players interested in keeping what is going on quiet, powerful, rich, politically connected individuals. And that is making this book very, very intriguing. That mystery coupled alongside a writing style that is just so ingenious. It's so fun and rompy and funny, but serious and intense at the same time. Like there's a lot of action and combat in this, but it's almost like non-plus. Like sometimes I do double takes because like we'll be reading like a funny chapter or like funny quips, and then all of a sudden our main character's like getting attacked and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. But it's well written. And I like the surprise aspect of like how the author plots this. And then I'll just say like the main characters of this book are super likable. Isolde and Warren, I like learning about them. I like learning about their relationship. I like learning about their paths. I like all of the different magical items that Isolde often uses, and just her cleverness and them kind of throwing themselves head first within this investigation. I really have no idea like who, what, where, and why in terms of the mystery, which I like. And I'm excited to see how this is going to wrap up. I feel like I'm going to end with more questions than answers, but that is to be expected because this is a series. But I'm just so impressed with this so far. It's just so good. Like it's magical and intriguing and clever. All of the words that are only positive, which is great. Gonna finish that today and definitely start my second book, but I need to go get dressed and get started on a variety of other things. But I wanted to do a reading update. It is a salad, but mostly an excuse to eat a lot of Parmesan cheese. It's also a leftover salad. I had some leftover breaded chicken, put some olives, made a little honey mustard vinaigrette. Now we enjoy. I am being very responsible, and I'm having non-caffeinated tea this afternoon instead of an afternoon coffee or an afternoon caffeinated bevy, which I have been trying to be better about again. I fell off the horse a bit post-holiday, which, you know, sometimes you just need that extra caffeine to make it through, but I'm back, people. I feel so much better when I don't have caffeine in the afternoon, so we're gonna try to stay on the horse, but I'm gonna do some chamomile. I'm gonna add some honey for this. Let it steep. And I have my Valentine's Day mug. Watch it transform before your eyes. Love to see it. I'm gonna brew this. I'm gonna sit down and read more of the Hexologists. Maybe finish it, maybe not, but read some more. I'm also gonna have some cookies. Hold on, let me just outline my whole plan. These Tate's Bake Shop cookies, delicious, scrumptious, some might say. So I'm gonna have a couple of these, tea, a book, the afternoon winter sun. What more could a girl ask for? This is typically my laying on the couch hour, but I am dressed because Clay and I are actually going out to dinner tonight. We're leaving the house. We're braving the winter.
We live in Texas.
We also, yeah, I know we live in Texas. We also rescheduled this reservation probably about 6 times. So we reached the point where we were like, we cannot not go to this restaurant anymore. Italian food. Good morning, everyone. I ate so much food last night. I came home and immediately fell asleep. Classic. We're up and at 'em, caffeinating. It's super foggy outside. Clay keeps walking around singing like the Twilight song. I'll show you. Well, anyway, it's foggy for Austin, Texas. We got some ambiance going on today. I had an appointment this morning, and he came home with baked goods. I already started snacking on the cinnamon roll because it's so good. Love it. We love a Friday baked good. Hello. I ate a delicious pastry. It was a cinnamon roll. Divine. What a way to start my morning. And I'm also happy to report, boom, I finished the Hexologists. Look at me. I went back and I finished the book before I forgot all of the details. And I must say, I was delighted by this. I was hooked by the mystery, the twists and turns. There was lots of mini reveals, connections, and then the end culminated in a fashion that I personally was like, dang, that was good. And it also opened the door for like more mysteries with these characters. I just love the world that Josiah Bancroft created. I really enjoy our main characters that, you know, center this story. I think the concept of all the different magical schools and also the government's involvement with deprioritizing some of these magical schools, the discussion of corruption and greed, and just like all of the stuff that makes up the world and the concept of this is so good. There's also like so many different magical items that make an appearance, and seeing their use cases is great. And most of all, I would say this book just has great humor. Like, it has great chat. It has great moments that makes it like fun and funny, but still like breakneck and entertaining and dark and twisty. Like, it was just a blast. I love Josiah Bancroft's writing. This was great. I can't wait for the next installment. And I've also officially read 160 pages for this vlog, which isn't amazing, but we're gonna pivot to Emily Wilde today. And I feel like I'll be able to read that book much faster. This is like so windy. It's one that I read more slowly. Also, you know, there's a decent amount of words per page here, so there's that. But yay, I finished my first book. I circled back and finished a book. And I'm gonna go get dressed now and carry on with my day. But yay, book one is done. Lunch is served. Also, it's citrus season, quick reminder. Eat an orange, folks. They're especially delicious right now. Hi everyone, it's Sunday, and I've been doing the, you know, what you're supposed to do on Sunday, which is just absolutely rot on the couch. But I wanted to give y'all a reading update because I have started the second book of this vlog, which is Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. And I'm already so delighted, so entertained by this book. It's exactly what I felt like reading, which was something that would be like cute, fun, interesting, well done, but at the same time, maybe perhaps a bit like lower stakes, less intense. I am expecting, generally speaking, like just a happy, good time. And I've quickly read 80 pages of this book and I'm just loving it so far. I feel like this series does so many different things so well, but let's take a step back and talk about what this book is about. So the first book is called Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and we're introduced to our main character, Emily Wilde, and she is a professor at Cambridge, and her specialty is investigating and like writing on fairies. In this world, magic exists, fae exists, and they interact in some capacities with humans. And Emily Wilde has been working on creating this encyclopedia documenting all the folklore, stories, and different fairies from around the world in like one centralized location. She's, you know, really progressed in creating this encyclopedia. And at the beginning of book one, she's basically traveling to this far remote town where she's trying to like get a few last remaining stories, and things begin to go awry, not only because the town doesn't trust her very much, but her co-worker Wendell arrives, and they have a complicated history in that he really likes her and she doesn't really notice. And she also just like doesn't really get close to a variety of people, but they begin to work with each other in book one, and things sort of progress from there. This combines elements of like fantasy, adventure, and romance. It's lower, it's like very low spice romance, very slow burn, which in general I'm really craving, especially after reading some really spicy, not slow burn romance that I just didn't enjoy very much. This is just so endearing, and it does so many things well. Like, first off, Emily Wilde in this series, you just love her. She's smart, she's driven, she is like so talented within her area of study. Like, she knows so much, and she just really roots the story so well. Two, I love the fantasy elements. Like, the folklore, fae, and academic setting of this book is not just like background for a romance to take place. It's very center stage and very important to the plot. And the author takes a lot of care in like really fleshing out all of the fae and folklore elements, like so much so that there's even like footnotes within this book and series elaborating on like almost the references that Emily Wilde is making. Like she's giving academic references for the reader, and it just like really adds such a nice layer to this book. And I love learning about the different like fae elements, the stories, the mysteries that our main characters are kind of getting roped into. And then obviously we have the romance between her and Wendell, and their dynamic is so fun. Emily Wilde is more serious, she's more reserved, she's again not very social. Wendell is like the exact opposite. He's incredibly charismatic, he's bubbly, he's kind of vapid, and their contrast is just so endearing, and they work so well together, and I love seeing the progression of the relationship. It's just so delightful, basically. So here we are in book 2, and we're basically introduced to Emily and Wendell once again, and they're pulled into a new mystery and adventure centering on Wendell's past, and other characters have been introduced in this, which I really, really like. Like the cast around them is growing. We have 2 unlikely companions. One is Emily's niece, who also is like dazzled by fae and is like really bubbly and like so excited to be there. And then we have this sort of like curmudgeonly department head who tags along too, and they're traveling through the landscape together and getting roped into all different types of like scenarios and like things they have to overcome. Like the character dynamics, the dialogue, it's funny, and the mystery is so good. And I love that we're learning more about Wendell, his past, and his sort of mysterious connections, if you will. And then the progression of their relationship with each other is also moving along as well. And I just love how drawn out everything is. And it's just so cute and fun, but the fae and folklore elements is like really teased out in such a great capacity. So it has like so many elements to this that I love. The covers are also stunning. I was really looking forward to this release, and I'm happy to report the first 80 pages have already been a blast, and I have just had such a great time reading this book. My plan today on this Sunday is literally read this, watch football, which I'm also doing right now, and just lay on the couch. I'm actually dressed, which is shocking, I know. But for now, I'm just gonna read, relax, hang out, you know, eat an easy dinner, and just basically have like a low stakes kind of day, the best kind of day. Until they got the memo on this low stakes kind of day, she has just been lounging, as she should. Football. Honestly, this game has been so good so far, I'm not gonna lie. Tell you what, there is nothing better than buying a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store and having it for dinner. Today, we are having an oak smoked garlic pepper rotisserie chicken. Divine, but I did make sides. Fear not, fear not, fear not. We have on the docket green beans, baked potatoes. Delicious. Dinner is served. Football watched. Mario Wonder played. That game is delightful so far. And now I'm gonna do a bit more reading of the Map of the Other Lands. Clay is asleep, so we'll try to keep it down. But yeah, I'm gonna read a bit more. I feel like read a lot of this tomorrow. That's my plan, but a little more, and then I'm gonna go to bed. And I'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning, everyone. The sun is out. Typically, I love a rainy day, but we've had so many rainy days in the past 2 weeks that I'm really excited to see the sun. But I'm gonna have this last remnant of coffee and do some more reading of Emily Wilde book 2, and I will update you soon. I have opted to not get dressed today. I am wearing actually what I wore yesterday. Don't tell anyone. But I'm gonna sit down now and do some reading of Emily Wilde and the Other Lands. And I'm loving this book so much. I just love the fae mystery, the fae lore, all of that. I also really love the inclusion of 2 new characters. I feel like it adds like interesting dynamics and growth for Emily and even Wendell, and like seeing people put in new situations has just been so much fun. As I stand, I'm about just under 50% of the way through, so I'm gonna read some more now. It's such a beautiful day outside. It's a little distracting. I might also read a bit outside. I have a latte. I said no afternoon coffee. In a way, this is not afternoon drip coffee. It's latte coffee, so does that count? We're not sure. But anyway, I'm gonna read. All right, I have my things. We are headed outside, and I think Millie's gonna join me. But it is so nice outside. I feel like it's been so long since I've spent any real time outside. So we're gonna do some reading. I have read to page 180 of Emily Wilde. It's so good. But, it's time to read it. But I just love how she calmly solves, like, so many difficult situations with ease. I strive to be like Emily Wilde, but anyway, time to read. Hello everyone. I wanted to do a reading update of Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands because looky there, look at that progress. I have about approximately 100 pages left, probably a little over 100 pages. I am enjoying this book so much. It's exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. I might even like this book more than the first one. So many things to discuss. First, I love Emily Wilde. I love how she anchors the story. She's so knowledgeable. She's so courageous. She's so brave. She's so smart. And I love that this book is written like her journal. And it's both kind of like a personal diary, but also professional diary. So she's just like explaining things so well, recounting events. I feel like we're right alongside like her as she's processing different things. She's just a great character to center the story. I also love Wendell. I love how strange he is. I love how peculiar he is. I love how Emily and Wendell sort of interact with one another. And I love witnessing the growth of their relationship, how it's progressed further within this second book. I love their dynamic. I love their back and forth. I love the slow burn nature of this book, but it's also like more cute. It's more charming. It's more like, ooh, put a smile on your face. Like I'm so happy for these characters type of situation. Alongside that, I am so riveted by this mystery. We follow our characters as they've sort of traversed to a new location and they're trying to find this sort of magical door. In this research, we're learning more about like not only the border between the Fey lands and the human lands, but how fairies sort of transport. There's also this like larger conspiracy surrounding Wendell and where he comes from and his family that's sort of at play too. So there's just this level of urgency and intensity that's present within this. And every reveal and discovery is so interesting. And I also love that there's other academic characters present in this that also have their own level of expertise to sort of influence what's going on. And there's also like a lot of different mysteries at play like in this one location, so there's lots of stuff for us to learn and interact with as we're reading this book. And I just feel like the balance of like plot, characters, romance are just like really well balanced in this, and I'm just like so delighted and entertained. Like I'm having such a good time reading this book. And I'm just so happy to report that. Like it's truly delivering exactly what I wanted in terms of like a cozy, endearing, good time, but still with stakes, still good fantasy plotline, great characters. And I'm having a great time. So happy to report this book is definitely delivering. It was an anticipated release for this year for sure. And after how I felt about the first one, you just never know. And these books are just so stunning, I must say. But now I'm gonna go on a walk, I think, enjoy more of this nice weather, you know, get a smoothie, so to say. But first, there's Matilda. Millie, it's time for dinner. Do you want dinner? Let's have dinner. You guys can see the intensity of dinner time every night. I know. Ready? Okay, go. And she's off. If anyone was wondering to themselves if Reagan was still hyperfixating on this turkey sandwich, well, you would be correct. I have food I should be cooking for dinner, but I've been thinking about this sandwich all day and I caved. And so I'm now gonna watch 90 Day Fiancé, eat this sandwich, bag of chips. I could eat this every day, every single meal. We're back on our Super Mario Wonder. This is Clay's like first side scroller Mario game. Isn't that bananas? I think it's bananas. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like making fun of how your spouse jumps in a couch co-op game to, you know, keep things fresh. But I'm in bed now and I'm gonna read for Map of the Otherlands. And I feel like Emily would also yell at Wendell for his inability to jump properly in a side scroller game. So I don't feel bad about it, but I'm gonna do some reading. Hi guys, and welcome to the end of the vlog, the next day. I'm happy to report I have finished Emily Wilde and the Map of the Otherlands, and I really enjoyed this book, and I will stand by my statement of thinking I liked this book even more than book one. It's just like the perfect combination of great fantasy inputs, stakes but not too intensive stakes, romance. I'm like intrigued by the mystery of everything. I'm just loving how the series itself is like building on itself. We have new characters, we have new relationships to explore, and obviously the development of the existing primary relationship between Emily and Wendell. I just really love all of the different inputs of this, and I just find myself like delighted with every single page. Highly recommend this series. And then the other book, of course, I finished was The Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. I had about 50% of this book left. I have no idea why I didn't finish it the first time around, but I'm so happy I finally did complete it because I just loved this, from the characters to the world. It was whimsical and intriguing and dark, and I would say like both of these books are so unbelievably charming in their own way. Josiah Bancroft is just like so clever and so magical with his like settings and concepts, and I'm just drawn in every single time. But I've got to say, I loved both of these books. They delighted me immensely, and I would highly recommend both of them. All in all, I read just under 600 pages, which is not too bad, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Bye!